Hello everyone, my name is Andres Burbano. I am originally from Colombia. Currently, I'm an associate professor at the School of Arts and Humanities at the Open University of Catalonia in Barcelona, Spain. I consider myself a media scholar, mainly interested in the history of media technologies and a media artist as well. Currently, I'm involved in a research project that is related to the topic of this conference, and it spins around the historicity of computational technologies in Latin America. And of course, these days, this history of technology is related to artificial intelligence. So I'm gonna pose that question if it is even possible to ask about AI in our hemisphere, in our latitudes, and how this story should be told. I'm referring to one of the topics that the organizing team proposed, which is the technical is social. I think it's a very interesting starting point to elaborate upon. I consider that large technological systems, as AI systems today, of course, are socio-technical systems. And interesting way to address the complexity of that is to identify actors. Let's say the actors in the technological level, at the policy level, at the government, advocacy, even activism. And actually, what shapes the field is the friction, the tension, the relationship between those actors. That means that when we think about the times that we are crossing related to AI, where it is not longer part of labs, but it's actually a services in the hands of everyone around the planet, these stories must be told in the context of the state of capitalism right now. Let's say addressing the size of the operation of the giant tech companies like Alphabet, Amazon, Meta. But these, of course, should be contrasted with the performance of companies in Latin America that are exploring AI tools for different reasons. For instance, Blip in Brazil, let's say, to process data, and also other companies like NutriCo in Peru that is actually related to the food industry. These two companies are being performing AI algorithms to actually reshape the services that they provide, and those are local companies. What I'm trying to address in this short talk is to think about these systems not only as a consequence of the implementation of algorithms. It is the reflect of a profound transformation in the materiality of technology. A very important part of the transformation, the size of the operation of the AI services today relies on the fact that the physicality of technology is changing. The chips in which the AI processors are running currently are being optimized, are being redesigned to perform better AI routines. And this is a microscopic change, but is substantial in the way we later on interact with AI systems. Another one that is macroscopic that we can see is the design of data centers. This huge demand of AI services is implying the construction of data services around the planet, including in Latin America. One of them is that one of the pioneers in the design of data centers, especially related to the energy efficiency, is actually Brazilian. His name is Luis André Barroso. But at the same time, the growing demand of local data that can be accessible fast enough is bringing the need to have data centers around the urban and rural areas in Latin America, and always transforming, these landscapes in something that is different. This connects with the third point I would like to address, and is that this physicality of the transformations of AI, of course, relies in natural resources. Our continent is being seen as a rich in natural resources, but in this case, we will need to ask our governments to think twice on how to implement these solutions, considering the destiny of these sources. For instance, energy consumption. These data centers are energy hungry and also thirsty. They require water. So for refrigeration, water is necessary. And in some cases, like in Querétaro in Mexico, the plan to build these data centers in locations where water is not necessarily abundant is tricky, and will be part of the debates that we will presence in the years to come. The other aspect, and probably the final statement, is that the technology is cultural and is culturally embedded. That is more my field of expertise. And what I can tell you is that in Latin America, in the creative side, there have been artists exploring computational technologies since the 60s that can anticipate many of the routines and services that we experience to date with a generative AI. For instance, in the late 60s in Brazil, Valdemar Cordeiro and Giorgio Moscati created a system to create words that resembles a large language model today, in the sense that operates with the idea to generate new words. It's generative in the level of text. In the level of image and art, in the 70s, Manuel Felgueres in Mexico created a system to compose new artworks in a rule-based process that can be considered generative. And even in 1978 in Chile, José Vicente Azuar built his own computer, and in his computer created some of this first software that can be considered artificial intelligence applied to music composition. So that legacy is very important to question, to understand better. That is kind of the task I'm trying to fulfill, as a historian of technology. And also pointing out that even in 1972 in Argentina, there were publications about artificial intelligence. The book Temas de Inteligencia Artificial was published in Argentina in 1972, and it was a state of the art of what AI was at that time. So my point, to summarize, is a understanding of the future of AI in our latitudes starts with recognition of the things that are already being done here. The history component, the historical research about it is crucial to start to think that we are part of this story and not that we are just eyewitnesses of it. This has a very important implication for, let's say, the decolonial perspective of this. We should be able to understand that we can intervene in the system, we can design it better, we can question it. Even the term decolonial applied to data, decolonial data or data colonialism, it's a contribution from a person from Latin America, from Guatemala. It's Renata Avila, who's a journalist and a lawyer who has been very active in the open source culture. So this historical perspective, combined with a awareness of what is happening now, with the idea of observatory, can lead us, the different actors in our society, to be more aware and eventually take better decisions. So this is all for now. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful to share time with you.